In Level 3, we're going to be talking about ions. You may have read about ions for homework, or this may be a new topic for you. Either way, that's fine. An ion is when the protons and electrons are not equal in an atom, creating a charge. If you do not have this definition in your notes yet, please add it to our notes from yesterday. The title of those notes yesterday were Isotopes and Ions. In addition, please add that a positive charge means something lost electrons. Think about it. Electrons are negatively charged. So if it's losing negative charges, it's going to now have a positive charge. If an ion has a negative charge, that means it gained electrons. Because again, think about it. Electrons have a negative charge, so if I'm gaining electrons, the atom is going to be negatively charged. An example of how this will look is shown right here. Fluorine with a -1 charge is an ion. It means the protons and electrons are not equal. Let's look at these examples below. Fluorine -1. We know that protons are still always equal to the atomic number. The atomic number of fluorine is 9, so protons equal 9. The electrons usually equal 9. But since it has a -1 charge, that means it gained 1. Instead of having 9, it's now going to have 10 because it's an ion. And remember that my neutrons are my mass equals protons plus neutrons. So if I look at this, if I know my mass on the periodic table is 19 and my protons are 9, that tells me my neutrons are 10. 19 equals 9 plus x. Right now, pause this video and try this example on a sheet of paper. Then check your answers by hitting play again. For selenium, we should know that the protons are 34 because that's the atomic number. The electrons would usually be 34, but it's -2, which means it gained 2. So instead of being 34, it's now 36. My neutrons, remember, mass equals protons plus neutrons. And we know that my mass of selenium on the periodic table is 79. So I have to do 79 equals 34 plus x. I'll move this over so you can see. 79 equals 34 plus x. When I solve for that, I get that my neutrons equal 45. Let's try 2 more examples putting this all together. Let's look at this example. Oxygen plus 2. Please try this now by pausing the video and turn it on when you're ready to see the answers. Oxygen should have 8 protons because the atomic number is 8. On the periodic table, the mass of oxygen is 16. We know the protons equal 8, so as a result, our neutrons should also equal 8 because mass equals protons plus neutrons. Our electrons here would usually be 8 because they're usually equal to the protons, but since it has a +2 charge, that means it lost 2 electrons. So instead of having 8, it will now have 6. This bottom example puts together what we learned yesterday and today. This little number right here shows the mass. It is an isotope. That means it doesn't have the same mass as what's on the periodic table. This little number right here shows the charge. It is also an ion. This element is an isotope because the mass doesn't match what's on the periodic table, and an ion because of the charge. Please pause the video and try this example. My protons should be 12 because they still equal the atomic number. Remember, my neutrons are my mass equals my protons plus neutrons. If I know the mass is 25 and I know the protons are 12, I can find my neutrons, which are 13. My electrons are usually equal to my protons, which are 12, but I know that it gained 3 electrons because it has that negative 3 charge. As a result, the electron should be 15. At this point, please pause the video or stop the video and do the questions at the bottom of the page.